Do you want to read 100 books a year? Do you want to read 2 books a week? Then this video is not for you. I see so many videos floating around the internet. Read 300 books a year. I bought 100 books. Are you able to retain that information? Are you able to apply that knowledge in your daily life? If not, then what is the point of reading so many books? In today's video, we would discuss about how you can retain information, how you can tailor whatever information is there to your personality and see what really works for you. What works for others may not work for you. Knowing and understanding, these are two separate things. Whatever information we get today, whether it is through social media, through newspapers, through books, for it to be knowledge, that application should be there. And one thing I've realized, I was never taught in school how to read. I was just given books and told that this is this, exams would come on this, and you have to by heart this. Mostly the focus was on memory, it was not on understanding at all. And it put me in great trouble when I was preparing for entrance examinations because I was used to learning through memory rather than learning through understanding. One thing is that whatever you read in a book need not be true. That evaluation should be there, that I'm reading something, this is the opinion of the author, this may or may not apply to me. Even if I agree to it, my lifestyle may be such that I may not be able to follow it, or I may be able to follow it. But that judgment should come from your understanding of the book as well as your own situation. So how to go about reading according to your personality type, the kind of work that you do, and how to extract information according to that. Let's understand. Today's video is based on a book, how to read a book. I have summarized everything in this particular video, but if you need more information, you can have a look at the book. So the first level is elementary reading. Elementary reading means whatever you have been, just for the sake of information, you have a book, you read it. There is no concern given to understanding the liking or anything. If you have to read a newspaper, then you can apply this strategy. You need not read everything. What I generally do is, whenever I read, I go through everything, and if something interests me, then I read that. For newspapers specifically, for books it is other strategies that I'll discuss later. In inspectional reading, you are just skimming through the book. You are reading it, but at the same time you are not reading it. Like, there is one part to it that is systematic skimming. In this, you go through the content, you go through the preface, you read these two sections, you go through whatever titles which are there, you read the end note, and from there you get a judgment of whether you should go in for a deep dive with this book or no. The second type of inspectional reading is when you don't give a thought to preface, contents, main body, nothing like that. You just, whatever page you open, you just go around reading that. There is no thought given to whether you are agreeing with the author, whether you are interested in this book or no. Even this is useful for understanding whether you should give this book a deep dive or no. If you don't understand anything, you just move on. You don't wait for your thoughts to come to the surface, agree with the author, and nothing of that sort. A famous personality once remarked, some books should be tasted, some books to be swallowed, and some should be chewed and digested. And I'll add one more to it, some books should be spat out of the mouth right away. They don't deserve that honor of getting tasted also. Analytical reading is about doing the work. You understand, you go through the points, you see if your thoughts are agreeing to it, you read quite slowly. The goal is to understand the topic and to come to a conclusion. If you are preparing for any kind of competitive exams, then this is the mode that you need to go in for. As PhD students, we do this a lot, this one and the next kind of reading. If I say suppose need a particular protocol for an experiment, then I will just go and read that particular part from a paper and not read it completely. When you are starting with it, first you classify the book according to the kind of subject and the kind of thing that it offers. If by just reading the preface and all you can summarize it, then you try to summarize it in your mind. You don't have to say it to anyone and you need not write it. The major parts and its order that you need to take into account, how the book proceeds. Sometimes the acknowledgement and all is in the end. Sometimes the authors start with an introduction and then they gradually move deep into the topic. Some authors will start with the topic right away. Lastly, what you can do is just understand and see what kind of problem the author is trying to solve. Every book, whether it is fiction or non-fiction, there is some kind of core message that is given out. Whether you like it or no, but the book is trying to tell you something. So what is it? That is analytical reading. If you are a student, you are going through a research paper. If you are a research student and you want to read a publication, then what are the different parts and all, I have done a full video. So for this you will go through the analytical reading and this method is what you are going to use. Also known as comparative reading, syntropic reading is used to understand the subject rather than a book. For example, if you have a book in front of you, if you have a paper or anything, in all the first 3 levels or in all the first 3 previous types, what we did was our focus was to understand that particular book, that particular author. Here what you will do is you try to contrast it with different authors, subjects of different authors, try to come to a particular conclusion. For example, if say suppose you are reading about photosynthesis, just a process, then you will read this book on photosynthesis, jot down your points, what are the main findings, everything. Read another book on photosynthesis and try to compare, relate and oppose the ideas, what this author wanted to say and what is the focus of this book. Okay, so if you are preparing for an exam which requires discussion, thinking and more of advanced level of analysis, then this is the reading that you should go for. This is automatically followed by analytical reading, because if analytical reading of one book is not there, then you won't be able to understand information from other books. The goal here is to understand the subject as a whole and to develop fluency. So if anybody questions you tomorrow, if you don't know something from this book, you can get your findings from this book onto the surface. I highly encourage you to tailor your reading according to the need rather than you as a person. If you are reading a newspaper, the way you read should be totally different. If it's a competitive exam, the reading is totally different. If it's your university exam, the reading could be totally different. How the evaluation is and what you are asked to produce, the reading method should align to that rather than it should align to your standard format of going through the book, going through the mundane tasks, and that's it.